You had a nice tactical find in this game. Let's review. You might expect this first move, but be careful of variations that might catch you off guard. Starting aggressive with the Scandinavian defense. A popular response to the Scandinavian defense. You take back. Your queen will have to retreat while their knight takes control of the center. Retreating with the traditional main line of the Scandinavian. They made one of the top moves in this position. Developing the bishop and increasing influence in the center. Their pawn attacks your queen, kicking it out of its current position. You found a safer square for your queen. Their better move was to win a tempo by threatening a queen. This lets your bishop step into the game. They've brought their piece into play while forcing your queen to retreat. You calmly step the queen out of trouble. This fork from your opponent puts both pieces under pressure. This is a good time for you to get out of trouble. They are threatening to win a rook through a fork. You prevented your opponent from being able to win a rook through a fork. Their knight comes into play, supporting the center. You're kicking their knight out of a useful square. This move puts their knight on a safer square. You've pinned your opponent's knight, which restricts its mobility. Your opponent prepares to castle kingside and secure their king. That was an even swap of material. Their best option was to recapture a bishop. That knight was yours for the taking. They move the bishop to safety. Good awareness keeps the queen alive here. They block the check from your queen. A good choice to move your threatened queen. They stop the check by interposing a piece between your queen and their king. This move doesn't hurt you much, but it doesn't help either. The pawn slips away as your opponent avoids material loss. A good choice to move your threatened knight. They chose kingside castling, getting their king out of the center and activating a rook. Developing the knight and increasing influence in the center. That's playable. This prepares a safe kingside castle for your king. Decent move, but they had a better one. That pawn was yours for the taking. They uncover an attack that puts your knight under threat. Nice, you capture a vulnerable pawn, winning material after all trades are completed. Takes back. You calmly step the queen out of trouble. This move forces your queen to retreat, giving your opponent extra tempo. You won a pawn for free. Capturing your hanging pawn. You calmly step the rook out of trouble. You are forced to lose castling rights. You permitted the opponent to win a knight by pinning a piece. They used a pin to win your knight. Castling on the same side as your opponent and preparing for the middle game. They took your knight for free. You mobilized your knight, allowing it to control more of the board. Their best option was to win a tempo by threatening a queen. You get a chance to sacrifice. You kick the opposing bishop with a pawn, forcing it away. This is the only good move. Your opponent chose to counter. This is a good time for you to get out of trouble. Their better move was to win a tempo by threatening a queen. That was a fair trade. They exchange pieces of equal value. This move leads to losing a pawn. This move builds more pressure on your queen and creates a threat. You recaptured the bishop. They took your pawn for free. This move opens up space for your king to evade threats along the back rank. They played the strongest move available. Very good choice. You get a chance to win material because the pawn is pinned. Uh-oh, your bishop was defended, but now it's hanging. You missed an opportunity to win material because the pawn is pinned. They missed a chance to capture a free bishop. A risky move leaving your king open to potential attacks. There was a moment to punish your opponent's error, but you let it pass. Their best option was to move a rook to a more active position. Good awareness keeps the queen alive here. You are forced to double pawns. You recaptured. Precise move from your opponent. Good job defending that pawn. Your opponent piles more pressure onto the pawn here. You've added an extra layer of protection to your pawn. Pushing their passed pawn. You are threatening to win material through a fork. They prevented you from being able to win material through a fork. You captured that free pawn. Their move is losing material. You're going to end up losing a pawn. You missed a chance to... They missed a better way to evade the check from the opposing rook. You had a chance to play something better. Uh-oh, a discovered attack from your opponent targets your pawn. You're clearing the way for your pawn, step by step. Capturing your hanging pawn. You prevented your opponent from being able to win a rook by revealing a check and attacking a piece at the same time. They are threatening to win a bishop through a fork. Your passed pawn is one step closer to promotion. You are going to lose your bishop to this fork. That was your only option. They finished their tactic and took your bishop in the end. You are threatening to force eventual checkmate. They prevented you from being able to force eventual checkmate. You escaped the check from the rook. This is the only move that works. You dodge the check, moving your king out of harm's way. This is the only good move. You had a better way to evade the check from the opposing rook. This is the only move that works. Your opponent attacks two pieces. You captured a free pawn. They've made a mistake and their rook is now lost. The only move and you found it. Their king steps away from the check by your rook. Your pawn reaches the back rank and promotes to a rook. They bring in one more attacker, so your rook needs attention. You recaptured. The game was fairly balanced, but now your opponent's position has worsened. This rook move keeps an eye on the pawn while staying active. You've been great at avoiding mistakes in the opening lately. It's one of the best parts of your game.